I was born and raised in Yonkers, New York, and my dad was a golf professional. My mom was a teacher and a swimming instructor, and there were three boys in the family. Barry, who became, and at 7 or 8 years old, Barry would be coming back home and bringing us little rocks to show us what they were. He'd be up in the mountains. He became a geologist and invented the formula that predicts when volcanoes will erupt. John, the middle son. And he was doing Sid Caesar routines every night, making us laugh like hell. And we just loved John's showing off to the family every night. And that was the thing. John became John Voight, the wonderful actor. And I was James Wesley Voight. And I used to listen to the radio every night, have my ears glued to the radio, and try to find the latest sounds from Wheeling, West Virginia, which I could get every once in a while from Yonkers, New York, and that was my direction and my stretch. My name later changed to Chip Taylor, and as I was pursuing a rockabilly career and at the suggestion of a record company, and all of a sudden that became my name. I love my brother so much. I just watch what they do. I mean, John is just great, and we talk all the time. And he's in here doing the Pride and Glory, and it's a wonderful movie. And I see the challenges he has, and he always likes to talk to me about the roles and read me some dialogue. I love to hear that. I love to play him my songs, as I do love to play Barry my songs. And Barry and John are my biggest fans, and I'm their biggest fans. I can't wait for Barry to tell me about his expedition in Montserrat or whatever he was doing, and I read his scientific things, and he's so poetic in his way he does his scientific stuff. But they're just wonderful guys, and good-hearted guys, good to people, kind to people, and they're just great soldiers for me to look at in this march through life. They're just great. And so if I feel I'm letting myself down and I'm not kind of up to, I just look at a picture of my brothers on the wall, and I say, yeah, I'll get right in there with them, you know. And yes, Angelina Jolie is my niece, yes, of course. And yes, I have an awful lot to say about that. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Have you seen it?
I always liked Angie a lot, and they were in California, and I would visit John a couple of times a year. And Jamie was older, and Angie was the little girl. And but I always had a feeling for her. She always kind of went her own way, and I liked that. It reminded me a little bit of me. So, and her mom always said that she had a nice feeling with me too. And that being said, I haven't spoken to her in all those years. I wish we would communicate more. And she's doing such. Can you imagine how difficult it is to be somebody that, and through it all, I mean, she's standing up and doing a lot of wonderful things. But it must be very, very hard. Well, I've just been out making music now, returned from the gambling thing, making music for 3 or 4 years, and I just had what was my biggest album out, Black and Blue America, and my biggest album in Europe. I didn't have good distribution here, but then I met Carrie that one day in Austin, Texas, and it was just a magic day. She came to one of my shows. I was very taken by her as a person, and then I would hoped she could play fiddle, and I watched her play the next day, and I said to John, I said, that's it, let's do that. I asked her if she'd join me, and she did. Didn't sing at the time, and then she started, I put a microphone in front of her and asked her if she'd sing harmony, and she started to sing some harmony, and it wasn't a far stretch for me to start writing duets for us. But once that evolved, and all of a sudden she was a duet singer with me on stage, it just took the level of what I was given to the audience to a new thing, because I could hear this sound, this vibration against my own voice, and I get this vibe from her on stage. So it just brought everything to a new place for me. And since I was such a big fan of the Louvin brothers and the Everlys and the Brown family, harmony singing was so important to me. And now here I was. I could not have invented a better story than Chip Taylor and Carrie Rodriguez. That was like, how do you get so lucky? So these last years have just been great years with her and with John Platania playing with us. And just, Yeah, it was a wonderful thing on so many of the things from the first disc, Unglorious Hallelujah. Carrie did some background vocals on them, and Yeah, there's something about the way Carrie and I sing together. I just don't know what it is, but it's just magic to me. And to have her be part of this has just been great, part of my own album. She has by the way, she has a great new album coming out, and I was so happy to get involved in producing that with her and working on that with her. And it's talking about Phil Frizell and Kenny Wollesen and Greg Lease, and Richie Stearns and Victor Krauss, and all these guys just in it for the love of music. And so Carrie's album is extraordinarily inspired, and Carrie did a wonderful job.